Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajmain. Amma ba'du. Ladies and gentlemen, participant in Zoom meeting and live streaming YouTube, good afternoon. Welcome to our talk show from Faculty of Natural Science and Teknologi, State Islamic University of North Sumatra. And we have our speaker is Miss Zahratul Idami. She is one of lecturer from Biology Department, Islamic State University of Sumatera Utara. Assalamualaikum Miss Zahra.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon for everyone. It's great honor to me to be here to share some information and share some knowledge to you about our topic today is DNA and fasting.
Okay, before we get more into DNA and fasting, let us know first what is DNA.
Okay, well, DNA is a short name of a deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is genetic material inherited from parents to offspring, and DNA is a complex molecule that build and maintain the organism. So not only DNA as material genetic, there are the RNA too. So the DNA is found in all organisms, like human, animal, plant, bacterial, and fungal. But the virus, they are just find the only one material genetic. It means just some bacterial find the only DNA, or some bacterial find only RNA. And like we know today, the coronavirus, the genetic material only RNA, ribonucleic acid. Differently of DNA and RNA are DNA have two polynucleotide strain, or we know as a double helix, and RNA is only have one polynucleotide acid. And then DNA have four base nucleotide, ACGT, adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. But in RNA, we did not find the thymine, but we find the uracil. So there is the meaning of DNA, Miss.
Okay, deoxyribonucleic acid and found in the all living cell. In the human body, where is the DNA found?
Okay, DNA found in human body in all part of human body. So we can find the DNA from our head, our body, or our food. We can find that. It means DNA is found in a cell. So when in a cell, there are a lot of organelle. But in organelle, the DNA is we found mostly in the nucleus, or we know as nuclear DNA. But little DNA we can found in mitochondria organelle, or we know as mitochondria DNA.
So most of them is found in the nucleus, and small of them is found in mitochondria, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the main function of DNA?
Okay, DNA have a vital function in our body because the DNA can produce the protein in the cell. So the protein can use by cell to do their function. But other function of DNA is the first, DNA can be inherited from parents to offspring. It means two kind of inherited. The first is a phenotype or genotype look. Like we see, one person to other person is different. We can see one person have a straight hair and another person have a curly hair, or about a color of eyes, black eyes, brown eyes, or blue eyes. And then the second one, inherited from parents to offspring, is disease, genetic disease. Some disease is come from our parents. For example, this is leukemia, thalassemia, diabetes, and some mutagen or mutation like Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, and Turner syndrome. Besides that, the function of DNA is for give the genetic information. Maybe for biology research, the informatic of genetic will show in what species we are this research. So that species we can take their DNA, and then from the gene bank in NCBI, we could know that that species, name of that species. But for us as a human, the DNA can give information. For example, when a murder to the victim, and victim did not have the identity card, so the victim, we will know who is he or he with the DNA. Or maybe, for example, like airplane crash, when only a part of the body that we found, but we can know that whose body that is come from their DNA. And yeah, that is a function of DNA.
Okay, so it stores hereditary materials, right? From Islamic perspective and science perspective, what should we fast?
Okay. Well, we know that fasting is we are not eat, we are not drink, or we are not do the bad thing in time from 8 until 12 hour. When fast in Islamic perfection, in Ramadan, this is what we must to do. What we must to do, not to eat, not to drink in Ramadan. But after that, there is the Sunnah fasting that we can do in Monday or Thursday fasting, or another Sunnah fasting. But in science, what we do about fasting is many research from the people outside of Islamic. They want to know why our religion is doing a fasting. So they use the myths for their research, and they found that a lot of useful from the fasting. For example, when the fasting, we should know that our heart can be good, or we not feel the heart hurt, and then about the some human, when fasting, it can increase the immune, and another is about DNA repair. So the DNA can be repaired when the fasting, because when the fasting, our nutrition. So we compare about fasting or not fasting. When we are not fasting, we eat the food. When we eat the food will come to our blood to build the carbohydrate to be fat. But when we are not stopped to eat, so the building from the fat is more than more. So we know that being a fatty. And then when we are fasting, our blood will do the opposite of that. So the fatty acid will destroy to be a energy, to be a glucose, to be a carbo, or to be a protein that will make our body to be get energy from that. And without eating food, or we call fasting, our DNA have a job to make protein. So the step to make protein is called from transcription until translation. So the protein that come in our body when we are fasting is come from DNA. But if we are eat, the protein is come from the food. Not all protein from food is useful in our body. So there's in science good to do the fasting.
Okay, so there is correlation between DNA and fasting itself because fasting will change the fatty acid which is stored in our body to energy, right? Okay, dear participant, dear participant in Zoom meeting, you may ask question to the speaker. The mechanism is please raise your hand, tell your name and affiliation, and then ask the question. Okay, we have first question from Miss Shukriya. Okay, please, Miss.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Miss Shukriya, please open your camera.
I can't open my camera because I'm not available to open my camera. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Okay then.
Okay. I want to know about. My name is Supriya. I'm from Department Biology, UIN Sumatera Utara, Medan. I want to know about diet and DNA. Nowadays, people doing their diet because of nowadays, people doing their diet based on their DNA. What do you think about this?
Okay, DNA test for diet.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Yukriya. Nowadays, in modern life, the people who wants to lose their fat using the DNA test, this is a good way for us to do the diet because when DNA test, it means we will check all part of our body that will show you the information about your health, about your body. So when the DNA test, it will show you you have or not the genetic disease, and then what your body needs or what your body not need to do the diet. For example, if I do the diet and then I do the DNA test, and then I found that I have a diabetes, so that the clinic or doctor from place that I do the DNA test will told to me that you must do sugar diet. So every person is not have a same case. Some person can do the diet about carbo diet or protein diet. It depends on what your body needs. So the DNA test is a good way to cleaning or to know all a part of your body. So this modern life, I think this is a good way for us.
Okay, because the DNA test will screen our body which nutrition that have more in our body. So, for example, if we have many sugar in our body, so we have to sugar diet or carbo diet.
Yeah.
Is it correct, Miss?
Yes, Miss Laini.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Miss Shukriya. Next question, please. Okay, next question is from Miss Widya. Okay, Miss Widya. Okay, Miss Widya Astuti. Kindly ask the question, Miss.
Please.
Miss Widya, unmute please. Okay, okay. Next question, Mr. Ridwan Yusuf. Okay, Mister.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First, sorry, I can open my camera. I have one question for DNA in corona. Is it similar for DNA test for diet and DNA test for corona?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ridwan. DNA
Okay,
test and corona test.
Okay, Mr. Ridwan Yusuf Lubis, thank you. So the test of DNA with the diet and the coronavirus is different because the DNA test for diet, it will find from your blood, and then they will do some practically like DNA extraction and then electrophoresis and then using the PCR. But in the DNA test of diet is using the conventional PCR. After that, we will do the sequencing to know the nucleotide base of our DNA. It means is ACGT, adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. But in coronavirus, DNA test of coronavirus is we use from our deep nose or mouth the sample we get from that. After that, we do the same way is extraction. But we must to know that coronavirus only have the RNA. So the RNA will change first to be cDNA. Its name is reverse transcription. And we use the different PCR. So the tool to test the person is positive or negative corona, we use the RT-PCR. It means real-time PCR. So in real-time PCR, we cannot back to electrophoresis, but we can see commonly in the diagram from computer, we connect with the tool. So there's a difference because the coronavirus, we just only want to know that the coronavirus is there or not. But in DNA test of the diet, this is that is like screening our body. So all is see in sequencing DNA. There's
Okay. Next question. Okay, dear participant, if you want to ask the question, please raise your hand. Tell your name and affiliation, and then ask the question directly. Okay, no more? Okay. Okay, if no more question, thank you for our speaker, Ms. Zahratul Idami. Or would you like to summarize this topic?
Okay, from this talk show, I would like to tell to you all, this is conclusion of our discussion. So we must to do the fasting. It means outside of Ramadan. So we can do on a Monday or the Thursday fasting as a sunnah, because we can get two function, we can get two useful. First, we can get reward from our God Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, and the second, we can get help, because who didn't want to get a long life without disease? So that this is fasting is the key for us. And remember to just choose your food when you are fast breaking. Like sunnah, we eat the dates and drink the mineral water. Okay, that is for me.
Okay. I think that's all. I would like to say thank you also to all participants have joined us. Happy fasting, stay safe, healthy, and happy everyone. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.